Next on the agenda, we are coming up to the end of 2019. It's been a manic year, I must say. For me at least as well, it's been, we started up this episodic show. this YouTube show called Take It to the Table at the beginning of this year. It's been a whirlwind, and growing subscribers, and getting shout outs from Chris Van Vliet to Leo Rush. It's just been pretty crazy. But we ain't going to be talking about myself and obviously our show. We're going to be talking about WWE Programming. As we all know, it's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows in WWE, and not just in programming, but also outside of the WWE programming. But we ain't gonna be talking about that part. We're gonna be talking about what's been happening on our screens, on TV, on the network, whatever you want to call it. And we are gonna be not talking about the best parts of WWE TV. I think it's more fun and more interesting if we choose our top 5 worst moments.
Worst. Motherfucker never loved us.
In WWE TV this year. 1 second. What is wrong with this fucking cat? Jeez. 1 second. So yeah, basically, we have a new addition here. If you care to introduce himself, Big Man Casey. But yeah, without further ado, wait, who wants to go first?
To discuss our top 5 moments?
Yes.
Oh snap.
So we're gonna say.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna have to read.
Let him marinate on that then.
My number 5 worst moment on WWE TV was the debut of the Viking Experience.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was an absolute
dumpster fire.
Yeah, the name, everything, we knew them as War Raiders. They come on TV and the Viking is no.
It was absolutely an Eric and Ivar.
Right, they changed their names.
Unneeded repackaging.
Like they just changed everything, and it was just unnecessary, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I think a bad taste in all of our mouths. But
yes.
Viking Raiders isn't necessarily any better, but it's
way better than Viking Experience. And it was definitely it was an instant meme. Everyone ripped into it as soon as that got announced. It went viral. It was they basically made them sound like a kids ride. Instantly made them sound like a kids ride. Mm-hmm. In CBBS land, that's what it sounded like. Didn't do them any favors. They did the right thing. They didn't try and ride it out for a couple more weeks. They changed that the week after. Even though they still slyly kept that fucking name in there, they named it as their finisher, the Viking Experience. They slyly put it in there. If you don't listen to the commentary, then you will never know. But if you hear Michael Cole, then he will actually call it the Viking Experience. I can't remember whatever that finisher that they do is. Where he pops up him in the air, and then thingy catches him and power slam. All right, what about you? What's your number 5?
Whoa, this just changed in the last few seconds.
Breaking news.
Because something popped up. But this one, 5, so it's the least. It's not a crazy moment, but for me, it's Kevin Owens being traded to Raw. And the reason why I say that,
the worst moment.
Yeah, I remember when it happened. I was not happy because of the investment and storyline and build with him trying to essentially save SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Finally having that amazing ladder match with Shane and winning. Then going straight to Raw. Like, he doesn't get to reap the reward. It was just like...
No, because he got fired afterwards.
No.
Didn't? Oh, no, you didn't. No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, it's like he's finally got rid of the person who's made his life hell on his show.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't get to do literally anything on set. It just...
Yeah,
so I just thought...
It's true.
I thought it was a letdown. So I know on the grand scheme of things, it's not the most terrible thing in the world.
No.
As a fan, it was just...
Yeah, you're totally right. Didn't get to reap his rewards at all on that. It's pretty much almost the same thing where, Rollins got rid of Lesnar, took the title, and he somehow still ends up back there with a title. So it's just
Yeah.
It's still the same. You just it's just an STD just won't go away. So I totally get that. My number 5 would have to be this is my least one. It's gonna be it's actually I kind of cheated, but it's actually just moments where when it happens is an absolute eye roll. Is when celebs and sports anchors win the 24/7 title.
Oh.
I freaking hate
so,
that.
Is there one in particular, or do you know what? I completely forgot about that title. Where is that on 205 Live right now?
I think one of the Singh brothers.
The Singh brothers had it, but somehow I don't know how. But R-Truth is back to it. It's got it back.
Oh,
I think it's like a 30-time 24/7.
Oh, I remember. One of the Sunil or whatever.
Yeah.
Had it for a week or so, like quite some time, and then hid in a room with his brother or whoever his partner is, and the room was dark, and then they turned on the light and Luke Harper was there. Not Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan was there in the dark, and then he beat them up, and then R-Truth came in, saw it, pinned him, and then walked out and turned the light off.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? It's just
Why was he in the dark? And that was the same Raw that he then later did that thing with the cage, and he was talking to like a baby or whatever.
Oh man, I completely missed that. I missed the 24/7 segment. I saw that awful segment when he was talking to something. He's a good boy.
That might have to go on my list, you know.
That's
absolutely ridiculous.
Is there
there's 2 that really grinded my gears.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna let you say it.
The first one, it was a sports anchor, and it was just before Fox was premiering on SmackDown, and it was
studios, right?
Sorry?
It was in their studios.
It was in the studios. I think Elias was 24/7 champion or something at the time or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then on an R-Truth had it originally, he got pinned by a sports anchor, and then during that same day or a day later, then all of a sudden Elias had it. Schoolboy pinned Elias pinned the sports anchor, but it was so pointless. It didn't make any sense. Why is the sports anchor trying to become champion?
I think that was the same. It wasn't a day later. It was the same set.
It was the same set. Oh,
the sports anchor won because they were all talking, innit? R-Truth was talking with them, and they were like, "Hey," and then they tricked him.
Yes.
And they rolled him up.
Yeah.
But then Elias got involved. The title. And then the sports anchor said to her, this is hard, isn't it? He goes, yep.
Yeah, that's the exact one. Yes.
That was the first of many.
Yeah. Like, that was that one.
Didn't your friend Marshmallow win?
That was my second one. And as soon as fucking Marshmallow won the title.
Did you know who that was before?
Who?
Marshmallow?
Yeah. He's a music artist.
I thought it was a mascot for a football team. I thought it was a mascot for like the local. I swear to God, I thought it was a mascot for the local football team in the city today.
No!
What?
That grind in my
the
kid.
DJ, right?
The flipping mascot guy.
This guy actually thought it was a football mascot. It was amazing.
That's my favourite clip from the whole Take It to the Table.
I agree. That was just absolutely pointless, ridiculous, didn't make no sense. And the thing was when he got I think it was on Truth that pinned him. The guy, as soon as he got Schoolboy pinned, he didn't care. He just dropped the title and he held on to his helmet, and he cared about that more than kicking out from getting pinned from being champion. And it was just so backwards. It was just like, why are you winning it in the first place? Why are you back? You winning? I see this guy with his big, massive white helmet, and he just like completely cares about that.
You didn't find any of that entertaining or funny?
No, that infuriated me. It should be amongst the superstars. That's what it's meant to be. Why is Marshmallow that? This is probably his one, and he probably doesn't even know about wrestling. He's one of them real part-timers. Like them really awkward Raw guest hosts, right? That they're not wrestling fans, but
they just remember Hogan and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, flipping Jeremy Piven saying flipping Slumberfest instead of SummerSlam.
Oh God, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So that was an absolute that grinded my gears. But yeah, that's my number 5. Back to you, Mr. Rhymes. What's your number 4?
Oh, my number 4 worst moment. Kurt Angle choosing Baron Corbin at WrestleMania.
Ooh, I forgot. I wasn't even sure if that was this year.
That did not need to
That's
happen.
the end of Take It to the Table, everybody.
That did not need to happen. It did nothing for anybody. I understand storyline-wise, Baron Corbin was going through his monster heel push, and they were trying to get us to hate him even more. But I just honestly feel as though, that space, it just would have made sense for it to have been John Cena. I just really do think it should have been John Cena.
Yeah, they should have treated that as a Hall of Fame, like I was with his Hall of Fame tournament. He chose John Cena to do his Hall of Fame speech. Full circle. That guy, you put the biggest name in sports in WWE history, almost as bigger, if not bigger than Hulk Hogan, on the map, and just by one match and one slap. And then history was made there, and it would have been full circle.
Right.
But
instead, it was wasted on Baron Corbin, who went on to win that match and has done fuck all since. So, fair enough, yes, he's won King of the Ring and blah, blah, but has that really made him a big star? Has that made him someone that was, whatever. Baron, it happened, unfortunately, so that is my number 4 worst moment that happened of 2019.
I think that's. I might as well just say my number 4 is that as well. I actually put Angle.
Specifically number 4.
Yeah, Corbin versus Angle was number 4. That was absolute unneeded. It didn't do anyone any justice. I was unfortunately there seeing the actual loss take place. Angle deserves a lot more. That's not what you call a retirement match. Ric Flair had one of the greatest retirement matches of all time, even though he unretired afterwards. But that was
after that?
Several. Not with
Ric Flair.
WWE. Not with WWE. He went TNA.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm getting. I was like, WWE TV, I thought him.
No. Damn. WWE, that right now in WWE's eyes, he never had a match after that. But he did at TNA.
Okay.
Plenty of matches. Way other people go way better send-offs. Angle has done so much for the business, and he did not deserve that. He could have went. I don't know who's. Obviously, we all know whose call that was to give him that cluster of a match, but I don't know who thought that was a great idea in the first place. You just gotta look at the logistics, which WWE doesn't do. That's the most annoying thing.
What did you guys think of the actual match?
I didn't
The match
watch
was shit. The match was absolutely awful.
I didn't watch it. It was filler match for me at WrestleMania. I didn't watch it.
Wow.
It was on, but I was doing other things.
I couldn't do much because everyone else was at the flipping concession stand. So there's pointless me going to the concession stand because by the time I actually queue up and get when it's my turn, it's probably going to be the next match.
Right.
Everyone was at the concession stand.
Yeah, no one cared for that. And then the people that actually stayed there and watched it and saw the outcome were even more irate. So they even went to, I need a beer.
Yeah, you won it.
This guy, damn well, you fucking won. So yeah, it was just absolutely jarring. Bye, Casey. Sorry, I got triggered. My bad.
Mr. Rise, what is your number 4 moment?
Yes.
Well, like I said, my thing had to kind of change, and this was the change. So this wasn't part of my list until about 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
A match that's probably worse than what you guys have just said for me. Well, your number 4. My number 4 is The Undertaker Vince Kofi.
Damn it! That was my number 3.
And that was.
See, you know what? That was gonna be in my list, but my thing for that was that it was gonna be if I have to choose. I could. Okay, so for that one, because I didn't see it as that wasn't. It wasn't necessarily a bad work. It was like an injury in the match. So it's like had the injury had not have happened, that match probably could have been pulled off. Do you know what I mean?
But it didn't. So
I know, but then
potentially,
but
there was other factors. It wasn't just the injury. They shouldn't have been in that ring to begin with.
No.
I mean, there is that, but in the same breath, it was like.
I don't want to be disrespectful.
He was bleeding before the match even happened.
I was about to say Undertaker can still go.
Yeah.
Now I don't even know if I can say that. But look, they're both cool. I mean, we've seen Goldberg since then, even though it was a travesty what happened to Ziggler, that technically should be in my list as well. But my point is, he still has the physique. He's still got energy, right?
Yeah.
Same with Undertaker. We've seen him since then. He tagged with Roman, blah blah blah. So it's not that they're off completely, like they shouldn't be in the ring. It's not like Ric Flair. I don't want to see Ric Flair in the ring.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe preparation was rushed. Maybe the booking was rushed. But I don't think they were ready. It was dangerous from the beginning. You could just tell
Altitude.
do you know
The
what I mean?
heat, yeah.
And like, you know, and it's dangerous. We can laugh about it, but getting dropped on your head is no joke. At that age as well, like neck injury, head injury, like blood, all of that, and you know, yeah, it was a terrible finish. The chokeslam was like, it reminded me of that chokeslam to Hogan.
Oh yes, stiff as a board. Yeah.
It reminded me of that, and it was unfortunate because again, it was that. We kind of already anticipated that it wouldn't be great.
Yeah, of course.
But it kind of reminded me about the first time Lesnar and Goldberg feuded.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the build to that was like, yeah. And then they gave us that.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of felt. I'm smarter now, so I didn't get that upset. But it was still, I didn't expect it to be that bad. So I'm being nice as putting that as number 4.
Okay, fair enough.
And that was unfortunately you at number 3, so you might as well
Spoiler. Yeah, just was the writing was on the wall as soon as as soon as I heard 2 bangs, Goldberg came out during his entrance and he was already just leaking. It was just really awkward.
Wait, how was it bleeding?
You know he does that ritual.
Oh
where he
yeah. Like they're a little too hard. He cussed himself.
Yeah, and it was like, I'll never forget after after he does his little shot where he's walking down the the alleyway, we call it, and then it cuts away to the stadium. He took ages to come out. He took way longer. I don't know, maybe the gorilla position was a bit too far than he thought or whatever, but it took double the time because it was just you just hear his music playing and it just took a while to come out. And then and then when he eventually did the power didn't go off properly. I think it was like half-assed or whatever it was. And then Taker's being Taker, and then the match was just awful. Obviously, Party said the wheels fell off as soon as as Yusuf infamously said, he gumbucked the turnbuckle. And then it just was just downhill from there. And Taker on on Stone Cold's podcast, just said it was just another bad day at the office. But there was just more to it than that. I mean, money talks, but not enough. You shouldn't talk enough to endanger yourself. It's just
right.
And let others almost paralyze you as well when they it's just not worth it, man. I mean, sure, you might have went back with $5 million in your pocket, but come on, there's other ways to you can live. I'm pretty sure you can live off your name alone for the rest of your days.
Got paid $5 million. Yeah. And you know what? They do them dumb documentaries where it's like this is for me, and I want my son to see, I love the challenge. I was done. I said I was done, but this is in my blood. No, you did it for $5 million. That's it. Right. What do you mean?
And then you see him walk away from the camera, and you just see dollar bills flying out of nowhere in his pockets. What's that in your pockets? Nothing.
Some of that don't go to your hospital bill, man.
That's what I'm saying. I just wonder, is it worth it to keep on tainting your legacy? I mean, he redeemed himself. I give it to him. He redeemed himself. Undertaker.
Okay.
He redeemed himself with his tag match with Roman Reigns. That was a good match. That was a good way to redeem. And that's what he should. If he does come back in a limited capacity, as in a tag match.
He did that already. He did that with Kane and Triple H. And
that's fine.
That was my match though.
Don't talk about that.
No, but that's a group full of oldies. That's different. I'm talking about you can still, if you want to still hang around with the card roster, do it with a tag team. Come in and out. In short bursts. You can't go on a long. You can't do a long one-on-one match anymore. So if he does come back, do matches where you don't have to burn yourself out and embarrass yourself and risk of botching and whatnot. So I would say do that in that capacity. That DX versus thing, that does not count because Triple H was It wasn't full time at the time, and he pretty much tore his pec off like 5 minutes into the match. Shawn Michaels has no business being
He killed it because he was like one person other than Stone Cold that stayed retired.
Yes,
Ruined it.
Absolutely ruined it. Even though they tried to save that party, he stayed retired. And did you hear that with Undertaker saying that the only person that stayed true to it was, besides you, Austin, was Shawn Michaels? And I'm it was, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that happened, and then obviously Kane is obviously severely part-time, was not in shape, and obviously Taker, yeah, for the most. When you think about it, if that's the case, then they had to rely so much on Taker because everyone else was like out of shape or just just weren't ready, and the altitude didn't really help.
Wasn't Triple H technically good for that match, but just messed up?
He was injured.
No, he was injured like 5 minutes in, so that's why he couldn't go all the way through. Like he completely tore off his pectoral muscle, so he was literally wrestling with one arm. And it was just awkward. Really, they should have just called off the match. It was the
main event though. You can't call it off. The show must go on.
No. That is nobody involves someone's health.
It would have had to have been a handicap match.
Or even that. Call an audible. Do a handicap.
But then
match.
if it's a tag team match, I suppose that happens. The injured person will just stay on the ropes. What did Triple H actually do?
He was trying to fight Taker. He was trying to throw him into I remember it was this awkward thing where they were outside the ring and he was trying to throw Undertaker into the barricade, and then Undertaker reversed it, and then for some reason Triple H still held on, and they just completely crumpled it together into the barricade.
This is after his injury.
After the injury, yeah, during the match. It was absolutely awkward. And you could tell he was in pain, and I think they showed the picture afterwards, and you've seen the picture anyway, and it was just completely just red. On his in that area.
That was your number 3.
That was number 3. So yours now.
My number 3. My number 3 moment. It was Kofi Kingston losing his WWE Championship in 6 seconds.
Alright, I didn't choose any of that. That's fine. Cool. Your thoughts on that?
Exactly that. My man went through hellfire and back to get himself to WrestleMania, which in all honesty, when you think about it, he wasn't even meant to be at WrestleMania. He was only at WrestleMania because Randy Orton injured Ali.
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
So that whole position and everything was made for Mustafa Ali. Was Ali going to win? That we don't know, but...
He wasn't, but
essentially it was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Kofi Kingston steps up to the plate, reminds us that he is the veteran. He has been there for so long, and it's been why has he never won the title kind of stuff. So he basically put himself in that place to make you see him as a credible champion, and that make him jump through all the hoops to get to the point of WrestleMania, to then give him that moment to win at WrestleMania, to then kind of put him on this, I guess you could say, on the journey it took up to this point, because it's yes, I did say that he didn't really have any staple rivalries until he kind of reached his Randy Orton feud, which was the kind of the big story or the big moment for him, because that was his staple feud within his run. But he's beating people like Samoa Joe, he's beating Daniel Bryan, he's beating Kevin Owens, he's beating Dolph Ziggler, he beat Randy Orton. That's 5 of the top stars on SmackDown at the time, and he's beat all of them, to then get challenged by Brock Lesnar, to then have not even get the kind of match that all the other little guys have got. Seth Rollins has got long matches. Then Daniel Bryan got a long match against Brock Lesnar. What's it called? AJ Styles got a long match against Brock Lesnar. Rey Mysterio, even recently, as we mentioned earlier, had a long match against Brock Lesnar. Everyone got a match where they could at least kind of show that they can hang, I guess, or at least give Brock Lesnar a run for their money. Kofi Kingston was just bulldozed over in 6 seconds, pinned, and that was the last of that. Even in that, when you watch that SmackDown, after Kofi Kingston was pinned, he wasn't seen on camera.
Nope.
For the remainder of the
Disintegrated.
So literally, he was just written off straight away and just cancelled. So for me, that was just No, I just do not. I would never agree with that or anything. So that will stay as my number 3 worst moment of 2019.
Okay, fair enough. That's understandable. You're number 3 or is it number 2?
No, he's number 3.
He's number 3.
My number 3.
Because his number 4 was your number 3. Get it?
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
My number 3 is the random Eric Rowan lookalike.
The doppelganger.
That storyline.
So we got Roman Reigns randomly attacked backstage. No one knows who it is. It's around the time where Samoa Joe is beefing with him, so there's a little implication that maybe it's Samoa Joe, but also you've got Buddy Murphy backstage who might know something. Maybe it's him. At the end of the day, very intriguing. Who is it? Why? Then somehow fingers point to Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan because they're nearby. Fine, okay, cool. But then it just gets a bit weird because they're trying to side with Roman, saying, "Oh, we've got you. We're gonna find out who it is," but they're longing it out, and then because they've longed it out for the whole week, you're like anticipating it, and then even when it is next week, it's not at the beginning of the show, it's not in the middle, it's right at the end. So you're waiting all through that, and then finally they pipe up, and it's this random guy who looks like Eric Rowan. Roman doesn't know how to respond. Daniel's just there like, "See, look what I've got for you, master." And Eric, the actual Eric, seemed like he didn't know to expect that either, so he looks confused. The guy that they, I don't know, have kidnapped or whatever is also confused. And then you see the little copyright logo at the end of the show, so the show's over. Wow, okay. Now you're vexed because it's like, that's what I waited for. I'm not involved or invested in this anymore. I'm sick of it. But let's see what happens.
And
no mention. The guy who was there last week, there's not even a reference to him at all.
Right.
It then turns out that it was Eric.
Obviously. After all
Like,
of
it's
that.
just and then him and Daniel aren't on this. Daniel doesn't know that Eric did it. So, because the way Daniel was before was like he was clearly lying, but now he was in fact telling the truth all the time, and it's just bad writing. And then again, for what? For them to have a couple matches, for them to bring Luke Harper back to then do nothing. Like,
right.
What was the point? Like, what was?
And that was the downfall of Eric Bischoff. That was, yes.
I don't know. It just yeah.
That
vexed me. That annoyed me. That was not cool.
It just kind of, like I say, if you're gonna do the longevity of drag out a storyline, please have a solid ending or something that's gonna build.
Don't book on the fly, man.
You know, like
so much short-term booking stuff.
Terrible. And they had a good match. Don't get me wrong, they had a good match.
Yeah.
That could have been an unannounced match on SmackDown that I would have appreciated just as much.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You didn't need to, and I don't know. I really don't know what else to say.
No, I totally get that. I mean, yeah.
The story itself had potential to be something big.
Oh yeah, 100%. It did.
Everyone loves a murder mystery, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, a who done it thing. Yeah, just it had so much potential, and I just want to know, like, all right, so it makes you wonder, like, so yeah, that scene that happens where you see the doppelganger, you see they're all just there, and then you see the copyright logo. Like, what happens now? Like, what was the exchange afterwards? Like, no, I'm just saying.
In reality, if you're thinking logically, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. What you just like. And then everyone just walks out. Like, what happens? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Roman beat that guy up because he flipping almost killed Buddy Murphy just for knowing what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was so awkwardness, and it was so awkward. And then nothing comes out. Like, nothing's mentioned. Like, next week, you know, this is like, all right, you guys didn't see this, but this is what happened. This is what was on the CCTV cameras. Yeah. Nothing like that. Something like that. But it just was so awkward, and then you could tell, like, Daniel Bryan was so close to busting out laughing because he can tell that this is fucking stupid. And it's just, yeah.
So
really.
let me ask, based on that, like, because we've kept referring to it as a botch, and there was a writing botch, and Eric Bischoff got banned. Was it a botch, or was it just that bad?
Both.
I'll say both.
Because a botch is like, oh, you made a mistake. That scene was supposed to happen next week. Oh, like, do you know what I mean? So
No.
if it was a botch, what was the actual botch?
The
But
storyline itself.
I'm thinking, then that's not a botch.
Yeah, because it's just bad booking. Because I don't think that they knew themselves what the outcome was, and they were just trying to be smart with it, and it was just absolutely backfired. So I think that's why they placed it as a botch, because they didn't know where they were going with this.
So was the botch the following week? Yeah, they didn't know where they were going, but was the mistake that the following week that doppelganger wasn't there? Because up until that point, they had a story. They had a bad story, but they still had a story.
They had the story bad, like at the beginning of the night. Like I think they planned that at the beginning of the night, kind of thing. Like obviously it was announced the week prior that I'm going to show you who was the person. But I think they didn't know where they were going or how they were going to do it up until probably like a couple hours or an hour before the show went live, and it just somehow luckily had someone that was 60-70% that looks like Eric Rowan.
I don't know if that could be a coincidence. They probably planned that. But okay, fine.
They planned it in a way.
So I'm just looking at it from their perspective. So they've done that, and then they've reviewed the show and thought, no, this is terrible. How do we let this happen?
Yeah.
And that's when Eric Bischoff got in trouble. Because
pretty much, Vince was furious.
They must have had the issue there and then before the following SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Which is why the following SmackDown it got blocked off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. It's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. Sorry, we had to let out Big Man KC for me because.
Has everyone said their number 3?
I said my number 3.
Your number 3 was his joint number 4, so it's number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're on number 2.
Can I say my number 2 just because it basically is your number 3?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, my number 2 is
Kofi Kingston
to Lesnar.
So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say too much more. I mean, I agree with everything you've said, except the fact that you kind of implied that it was all originally from Mustafa, and I don't think
Kofi's way.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think yes, it would have been Ali in the Elimination Chamber, but I don't think we already have said that WWE don't plan that far ahead anyway.
No,
but I think Kofi going to WrestleMania was purely based on the response to Kofi in the Elimination Chamber. So
it was the response to him in the Gauntlet match.
Yeah, but even him being in the Gauntlet match was
Got him to the
probably
chamber.
from... Yeah, sorry, the other way around. Yes, you're right, yes. But I think if Ali had been in Kofi's place, we don't know, we'll never know if he would have garnered that same response to then have someone say, let's book him in the main event.
I don't think so.
Right, but then what I'm getting at is... that was the initial, like even on the Bleacher reports and stuff and whatnot, it was initially planned that Ali was going
to feud with Brian.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay, fine, I didn't know that. It would make sense because he did
Randy Orton even mentioned it. When Ali came back or whatever, or Randy Orton was like,
I thought that was in story logic.
Yeah, in story.
Do you know what I mean? Because it makes sense. Look, but I think booking wise,
yeah.
I didn't think they thought that far ahead to put Ali in the main event at WrestleMania before Elimination Chamber. I didn't think they were thinking that, but maybe they were. Would make sense because Ali did get a pinfall in Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe there's that. But I'd like to believe that Kofi just earned it based on his performance. And
yeah.
You know what I mean? That.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, echo everything you said. You're right. There's a heap of people that got beat down by Lesnar but had
at least a match to
fighting chances. To do that to Kofi and then to not let him have some kind of comeback or nothing and literally, banter or otherwise, bury him on screen.
Right.
And then literally, you know, even that little joke with his crushing the pancakes, he's acknowledging it.
Yeah, of course,
it might be funny, but he's acknowledging it. And it's just like, that hurt, man.
Yeah.
And the whole story of him overcoming, and I know it wasn't a race thing, they didn't really try to make the story a race thing, but there was little implications there. And, you know, for him to be like, yeah, people like us can win and do this, and then they do that. Like, and even if you're forgetting about it, just like a good guy who works hard, what message are you sending? Like, oh, but the big guy always wins, or whatever.
Yeah.
The big bad guy always wins. The bully always wins. And it's like...
Even in this case, Lesnar was technically not any of those. He just challenged Kofi for the title, and that was it.
Yeah, he bullied his way to the title.
Yeah,
just like, I want your title.
You know, but
because I can't get the other one.
We're thinking too deep. It's as simple as one person faced another person, and that person lost in 8 seconds or 6 seconds. That's it. No fighting chance, no nothing. So from a fan's perspective, getting hyped up for this match, because I remember being hyped for that match.
I thought that they would give Kofi like a
SmackDown premiere. I thought, yeah. And then, like, you know, I'm watching the show and I'm thinking,
this match is gonna go on.
Sky's telling me there's like 15 minutes left. And, you know, the last match hasn't even finished yet. Like, this is gonna be a short match. What's gonna happen? Maybe someone's gonna run in and interfere. It's not gonna be a proper match, is it?
I thought it was gonna be a DQ or a count out.
Yeah, but you would never in a million years think that was what was gonna happen. So if you want me to give points on anything, fine, I'll credit them for shock value. But I didn't need to be shocked that way. I could have gone my whole life without that shock.
Right.
Like, you disrespected the team, and then next week man is regulated to the. Nah, it's actually laughable. It's actually. Listen, guys, I remember watching it and I remember saying, no, like that's how I was saying that at the screen, like literally, because he just catapulted into the air, grab, and
Catch finisher, you know.
And then, you know, he
On
does,
2K.
Lesnar does that stupid laugh that he does. That
Yeah.
He did that. The same face that he did at Money in the Bank.
And the Money in the Bank.
When he's just,
I know!
When he's just like, yeah, like he knows, like, and it's just, yeah. So, you know, that was almost my number one.
Okay.
And a little bit of it is like I almost wanted to share it.
Yeah.
But I think there's
there's something worse that you said, so you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, that's
your number 2.
My number 2 would have to be I don't know if you guys probably agree with this one, but it's that bad in my opinion. The we kind of touched on it earlier. The Mike and Maria storyline.
Oh God.
Mike and Maria.
Yeah.
The pregnancy storyline.
Like it was funny when the 24/7 championship was involved, and then after that, it just was absolute capitulation. It makes Maria look like a compulsive liar.
Crazy woman.
A crazy woman that just outright cusses the father of her child on live TV in front of millions of people. And yeah, he's just standing there and taking it. So you're completely emasculating him. It doesn't make any sense. It's not good TV. Very tasteless. And that's WWE, everybody. No, it's just sorry, we're just seeing Ric Flair do a people's elbow right now.
He's feeling himself.
Yeah, absolutely pointless. And yeah, it just left a bad taste in the mouth. And instead of not only did they can it,
2 movie stars.
yeah, funny, right? Not only did they can it, they decided to move that same flipping storyline onto someone else, which is like, what is their obsession with cuckolding all of a sudden? It's
On that subject, why is Maria and Mike worse than the someone else?
It was the beginning one.
Yeah, it was the beginning one. I would say it's the beginning one. And like, Mike was already on a bad slid. I mean, he wasn't winning any matches. The 24/7 championship thing that was a good like, little pop. You know, he took her to the clinic. She was the first pregnant 24/7 champion.
Right.
He pinned her while she was getting checked. That was hilarious. That was good.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they just completely just destroyed it and just just embarrass him, and then yeah, just assume that she was working. She was not working. Having relations with Ricochet and then Rusev, and then it's absolutely backwards. Doesn't make good TV. Simple as. That's right.
And that was your number 2. Okay, so my number 2, luckily, surprisingly enough, it hasn't been mentioned yet, but I'm going to go with the main event on the Raw after WrestleMania.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I remember that. Oh my God.
We were promised, or we were given, or hyped a unification match for the WWE and Universal Championships between Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins, only for us to get 5 minutes of an actual match, and then for some reason the bar come out and interfere. leading to a tag team match that everyone at home and everyone in the arena clearly did not want to see.
Oh, we wanted to see it.
And you guys, and they made it very vocal that it was absolute BS, and you know what. But at the time, I know for a fact that for me, Kofi Kingston had just won the WWE Championship, and the last thing I wanted was for him to have that opportunity taken away from him. And we know WWE would put Seth Rollins over Kofi Kingston. So if they were genuinely going to actually carry out that match, you knew Kofi Kingston was not going over. So I, for one, was like not here for the BS, but compromise. I was fine with, as long as Kofi Kingston leaves Raw as champion, I was fine with that. But it was still my number 2 worst moment of 2019 so far.
Wow. It was a bad moment.
It was that was definitely
You in
horrific.
attendance, like,
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was, everyone was hyped. The night was kind of lackluster already. I mean, obviously you got to see another appearance from Taker, a Tombstone, Elias. I don't remember much after that. Cena was there? Was he?
Oh no, sorry. I'm talking about Raw after.
Yeah, I'm talking about Raw after Mania. Yeah. That was the only moment I remember. Obviously we got to see Aleister Black and his entrance live. That was cool. But yeah, everyone was really hyped yet nervous when it came to the main event, because obviously Kofi just won the title. You don't want to.
Just won the title.
They both just won the title.
It's like, for me, for Seth Rollins in the US title, or any title for that matter, it's like if he loses it, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's Seth Rollins. But Kofi Kingston, being that he was the first Black WWE champion.
Yeah.
And it's Kofi Kingston at the end of the day. If you're going to have to weigh them up, WWE are going to favour Seth Rollins more than Kofi Kingston. So it's like, if they're genuinely going to do this match, Seth Rollins is going to win. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't want
You don't want to see him get Rey Mysterio when he won the title and then he just lost on the same night.
Right.
It was pretty, even though it was 24 hours later, it's along the same
time frame.
Yeah. So yeah, when that happened, we was excited but nervous at the same time. Before the match even started to get going, and you see the bar come out, didn't make no sense. And then
So
Seth,
when you saw them running,
yes,
what was your initial reaction? And like,
I was just like, yo, what the F's going on? Like, why of all teams? Like, what does the bar got to do with these two?
Who was SmackDown at the time?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense.
Yes, they were on SmackDown because they had lost their titles to The Miz and Shane, right?
There you go. Yeah,
so they were
right.
technically SmackDown superstars.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it didn't make any sense for them to interfere anything, and then
Seth says like, we're gonna have to continue this another time. Let's have a tag match.
Never.
And then the crowd next to everyone was just like, just shy. Someone said, everyone starts saying AEW. Bullshit. This is it was absolutely stank out the joint. It was
Was it a good tag team match at least?
No, absolutely.
And it wouldn't. Even if it was like a really good tag team match, some of them ones where the fans are just so against it. And whatnot, that you as a person at home just can't enjoy it because the people in attendance aren't enjoying it. So, and that's the thing. It's like I don't think the fans in attendance really don't realize just how much effect they have on the product for us at home. It's like, if you are a dead crowd, you make the show so shitty that people watching at home just don't care for it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, no, you're right.
And then it's like,
it's the atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're
Beach Ball Mania started again. It was to the point, I think that was the same one. I think Cesaro came into the crowd and he tore up like 2 beach balls. Yeah, he actually came into the crowd. I don't know if it happened on TV, but he definitely. If you saw it,
how did he do that and catch it? Like,
I don't know how he did. He just sees it. He's fast. That guy's fast. He just jumped over the barricade like it's nothing. Grabbed it, ripped it. And it was absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone was against it. And I think the only thing that probably saved it and made the people go home at the end was that we got to see Dean Ambrose doing his farewell.
The dark.
It was a dark segment. Yeah, it was a dark segment. After he just got obliterated by Bobby Lashley, I think he got put through a table.
Oh yes.
That night.
They had like a anything goes or something like that. Was that?
Before it even started. Yeah. I think he was cussing out Renee Young. They were trying to have a fight, and then Lashley just put him for a table. Yeah. He was cussing out Renee. Yeah, he said something that's like, I'm gonna send you back to your bitch at home or some shit like that. I can't remember. He cussed her. He did acknowledge them like their relationship on TV. And then Dean was trying to fight back, got put for a table. That was it. And that was I think that was his last appearance for maybe. I could be wrong on that.
Oh, that was earlier on in the match, in the night. It wasn't the last thing.
Oh yeah, it was early in the night.
The last thing was the main event, as I said. Match.
So my number one, if you haven't guessed by now, it is pretty much it's quite global, and I'm pretty sure you would agree. I'm not even gonna waste any time. It is basically the main event of Hell in a Cell, which was The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Seth freaking Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. Jesus Christ!
I still haven't actually watched that match.
Good, keep it that way. That was an absolute.
But it's not I haven't watched it because of its quality or anything like that. I just haven't watched it because even for that pay-per-view, I think the last match I saw was even on that match card. I don't even remember, but I think the last thing I saw was whatever what was the WWE Kofi Kingston? So he had a match at Hell in a Cell, I'm assuming, but it wasn't Hell in a Cell. It was against Randy Orton. So I would have watched whatever he
I
was.
saw that.
And that was the match that he pinned Randy Orton clean, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was the last thing that I saw. I didn't see the main event.
Who pinned Randy?
Kofi Kingston. So that was the second encounter. Randy Orton lost. Got it.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the match, is that implying that that's not your number one?
My number one.
I said if you didn't see the match, does that imply that that's not your number one?
That's not number one. That's why I'm quite happy because it's like number one, that's not my number one. So I was like, yeah.
Fair enough. I may be the only one then, but I mean, it was bad enough that I had to do an hour-long rant with rides. If you haven't checked out that video, be sure to check that out. It is freaking hilarious.
Referred to the mallet as the same weapon that was used to take out who? Another wrestler? Another superstar? No! Rambling Rabbit! A puppet! Yes. The same mallet that was used to take out Rambling Rabbit. That's supposed to make me think Seth is in danger.
So, I might as well just tell you the first two.
Becky Lynch was a Raw superstar. Before she's the flipping Raw Women's Champion. She's on Raw. What are you talking about? And the person who flipping got her the win is her flipping husband. You're taking the absolute piss, bruv. Like, what?
That is gotta be the worst booking that WWE has done in the past decade.
Well, I would say it superseded their booking for last year, because last year it was similar because they had it that Brock Lesnar interfered in Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that was annoying. Yeah,
and it was a no contest.
Yeah, it was a no contest. Yeah,
but then this year it was just that Seth Rollins was going too far.
Yeah.
Which the name of the match is Hell in a Cell. You're meant to take it that far.
Can I just ask, with that Hell in a Cell from last year, because I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch that one, fair enough.
Did the crowd react as bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did react quite bad.
They were booing.
They were booing.
But I mean, did you really deep the booing from the Seth Rollins Bray Wyatt match? It wasn't boos.
Well, because I haven't seen the match, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, it was a different level of boo, man. Like, for example, you were talking about your number two, the Kofi Kingston and Seth tag team match. Right? There was a lot of boos there. I watched that. Those boos were mad, but they did not compare to what happened at Hell.
Yeah.
I've watched wrestling from the 99, 2000. I've not heard boos like that. Like,
and certain chance. Restart.
It was
match.
like they were breaking kayfabe. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't watch last year's Hell in a Cell. If you're saying that was the same, fine.
No, it wasn't to that level.
It was uncomfortable to watch.
It was really uncomfortable.
It was the point where it was like, so when the match had happened, I think it got to the point where when Brock Lesnar come out, he got a pop. Mm-hmm. But then he came out, he goes in Hell in a Cell, he like hits F5s on them and whatnot, and kind of just wreaked havoc in the cell. And then he walked out, walked away, and it's kind of just like, well, what now? And then next, all the rest, when all the rest start coming running down, that's when the crowd starts booing.
And then the copyright sign, and then that was it.
It just ended like that. So it's like there wasn't like heavy like heat, like
Yeah, it wasn't as bad.
How they used to put on the booze if Vicky Guerrero would come out, and they would like hype the booze and stuff. Like it wasn't that level, but it was still like everyone just kind of left like, well, what just happened? Kind of thing. Like,
it was absolutely this one was gotta be the worst booking, worst reaction I've heard from any from any WWE fan. It's been rants about. No one has said anything to save it. There's nothing to save. Everyone's just
you're honestly, it's like when you look at this, just that from a even I say logical, but then logical is not the term to use when it comes to WWE. But if you just look at it from just a black and white point of view or perspective, the match is called Hell in a Cell. Even when I understand WWE is not as violent as it once was, but when you look at all the other matches, you've had people like climb to the top of the cell. You've had like, I guess at one point, wasn't it, didn't Triple H hit Chris Jericho with the barbed wire and it got stuck in Jericho's hair and whatnot? And you had like Mick Foley, like, you know, hit Triple H with the barbed wire that was on fire. And it's just like, you know, you've just had all the things that you do in Hell in a Cell, because that's the match. The match is Hell in a Cell. You're basically, there has to be a winner, and it's just, you know, anything goes inside of the cell. So to be like, oh, you've taken things too far, that's not you can't take things too far.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Exactly. They've just pinned themselves to a corner. They just realized, all right, we have this OP character, but we shouldn't. For some reason, they didn't want to pull the trigger on giving him the title yet. They wanted to keep it on him until Crown Jewel. Clearly, that was what their plan was.
I don't think that was their plan. I think Crown Jewel was because of him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. They were trying to right their wrong, basically. Yeah.
Even then, Crown Jewel still wasn't any better.
It was absolute clusterfuck. It was awful. So far, I've not the only match I've enjoyed from the Fiend so far is his debut match. That's the only match I've enjoyed so far. They have booked him really badly, and it's no need for it. And yeah, it was, you know, they should have pulled the trigger at Hell in a Cell, and they didn't. And the other way to come out of it is come up with something fucking retarded, and just make the referees look bad,
right?
And it makes them, the management backstage, look bad. Yeah, absolutely infuriating. Worst thing to happen in 2019. And if anyhow they find a way to top that, boy, it's going to be the beginning of the end for them. So
I'm gonna piggyback off that because that is also my number one.
Good.
Oh my god!
There's not much really to say. First of all, you've said it all. I've definitely said it all in the special episode
So both of
dedicated.
you went typical and you chose that as your number one.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I think maybe I couldn't choose it as the number one because I didn't watch it. I did feel strongly about it just based on everyone else's reaction to it, but because I didn't physically see it, I didn't pay money for it, because fair enough, I'm paying for the network, but I'm paying for everything else. I don't count it as me paying for the reviews.
Nice.
Yeah.
But so fair enough, they may have got my money for that pay-per-view to a degree, but it's like I didn't watch it, so I can't
Judge it.
Yeah, and be as
Passionate.
as upset as
You
everyone
watch
else
it
is.
after?
I'm fine. Like, you know, I feel like
I'll be honest though, I think the difference is where for you it was a no-brainer, boom, that. For me, it was a very, very hard toss-up between that and Kofi and Brock.
Okay.
My number two was almost my number one.
Fair
And
enough.
it was for a bit, but then I just thought, okay,
it's interesting.
as bad as Brock and Kofi was, and as much as that really hurt me, it didn't garner that kind of response. And it was the response that is the difference.
Yeah.
What
I think
happened was
the
the response, and
yeah.
that is what one of you touched on earlier about that. It just makes the people at home hate it as well, and it's like everybody hated what happened to Kofi, but a lot of people, the passive fan or whatever, quickly moved on when Cain Velasquez came through.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of people weren't stewing too much about it. Kofi in character wasn't stewing too much about it. So we were led to believe, let's move on. That.
Hell in a Cell just kind of left a really bad taste.
People wanted refunds. It's like going to a concert and the star doesn't perform or something like that. It was that kind of, people felt ripped off, like this is bad.
Yes.
And I've not seen it to that extent before. It felt uncomfortable. People were saying restart the match.
Yeah.
Like
chanting AEW again.
And then AEW threw it in their faces because it was around the same time they put on Moxley and Omega.
Yes.
And they didn't stop the match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They had more reason to stop the match.
It didn't. Oh my god! Didn't the porn company Brazzers? They made a comment about Hell in a Cell as well. They were like, if WWE needs like to
Oh,
help
yeah,
find
yeah.
satisfying endings, right?
Yes.
Storyline. It was a sick. Everyone just jumped on it because like Hell in a Cell was that bad. And it was like, yeah. So I didn't watch that one, but it's interesting
It
that
was really bad, man. Because I watched it. I don't think I didn't see any spoilers, so I didn't know what was gonna happen. So straight off the bat, the red was what the hell's this?
Yes.
I don't like this.
was
match.
that the second match? Or the first match that they used the red.
Sorry?
That was the first match.
That was that was the first one.
So you've already got Seth, who's already had that decline. So then you've got the Fiend that everyone's excited about. And then I remember we were discussing it, right here, and we were like, okay, but whoever loses gets hurt.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I know today we've said Seth can't get hurt as much as other people because he's Seth Rollins, but at that time Seth had just won the title.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if he loses, the whole thing with him and Lesnar is pointless.
Yes.
It hurts him, it brings him down. But you can't then hurt
The
Bray.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
He's
Bray
the hardest
Wyatt
thing
has
on
just
the
gone. Yeah, and the Bray Wyatt person has just gone through so much in terms of losses and stuff. Like, so it's like we pondered. We like, okay, is it gonna? I don't think we thought it would be a no contest. So
It shouldn't be a no contest.
I think I said that it would have made sense for the match to have not been inside Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, then you can have a no contest. No problem.
Because I said that what they'll probably do is put Kofi and Orton in Hell in a Cell and have the Fiend match as a regular match. Yeah. I said they was going to do that, but instead they switched it around. Yeah. So again, from the logical standpoint, that was writing on the wall right there. If you don't really want to give the Fiend the championship at that point, then just switch the matches. It's so simple. Because Kofi and Orton can pull off a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. And the thing is, people would have been annoyed about the no contest, but they wouldn't have been. You kind of the window's open for that in a normal match.
Right.
Yes.
But a Hell in a Cell, you absolutely don't expect that. You don't accept that.
Yeah,
right. So it's like, okay, what was gonna? And I remember being baffled. What can actually happen? Someone's gonna have to go over. Someone's gonna have to take the loss. And then we were thinking, weighing it out. Maybe it might have to be Seth because it cannot be Bray.
Yeah.
How is it good? And we were intrigued. And then they gave us that.
Absolutely. They just pinned themselves to a corner and they just didn't know how to get out of it.
So
absolutely.
Definitely a worthy spot of their top.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. Listen, we had Kofi lose in about 6 seconds, which was hurtful. We had Goldberg and Undertaker, which was painful. And there's been other honorable mentions that didn't make the list, like the whole Rusev and Lana thing, Ziggler and Goldberg, which I was so vexed about.
Oh yes,
but none of them garnered that response.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely not.
But I am very intrigued to see.
So my number one spot. Okay, so
you got some big shoes to fill now.
No, it's not. I see, and the thing is that it's only because it just angered me. But my top spot is, it might seem lesser in terms of what we were discussing, but my number one worst moment for WWE this year was the introduction of the wild card rule.
Oh, okay, that's a good shout.
Now, I for one was not here for it in the get-go because I feel like, so for my kind of real growth with WWE as a fan or anything, I was here in the brand split in the first place. So I came into wrestling in 2001, so WrestleMania 17 sort of time. Fair enough, that was the Invasion storyline and all that angle, but then by the time we reached 2002, they did the brand split. So me watching wrestling, I've only ever known it so that SmackDown has certain stars, Raw has certain stars. That's pretty much been how I've grown up watching wrestling, and that's been my wrestling career, life, whatever you want to call it, or time as a fan. No. So, brand splits and stuff, I get it, I don't mind it, it's just that's what I know kind of thing, and that's what I prefer. So when they first cancelled it in 2008, when the Raw Super shows and stuff like that, when they first started cancelling it, and then you see that they're really kind of, I guess, lessening SmackDown, and it was like, so the main event on SmackDown will be the opening match on Raw.
Oh, that was jarring.
It would be like, you'd be watching like Raw, so at that time I'd be watching Raw, I'd be watching SmackDown, main event, Superstars, like I'd watch all four throughout the week or whatever.
But you got a lot of time.
Well, back then I did have more time, but then it's like, you watch all of them and it's just, you see the same constant stars, because when you don't have a brand split, they just kind of put whoever's in the spotlight at that time, they're just taking up all the TV time. So now you'll find the superstar is appearing on like both Raw and SmackDown, but then they're also getting honorable mentions on superstars and main events. So this is like I'm just constantly seeing the same superstar on all 4 platforms. So it's just like, you know, like there's no variety. Whereas when there's a split, it's like at least I know that, you know, who I'm gonna see this week. I might get like a watered down version of that in the following week, but then I'll see someone else next week. You know what I mean? Or if the storyline is, you know, bigger or whatever, then I might just see one aspect of that superstar in a match, but then they'll be against someone that I haven't seen for a while.
Yeah.
So you just get some variety and stuff like that. And then when they introduced the wild card rule after WrestleMania, it just seemed a bit like, so what we've been doing with the shake up is what? So we have the superstars on Raw, superstars on SmackDown, and it's like that's been working fine. But then, so like what? The Raw after Mania, you had the bar randomly turn up on Raw for whatever reason. And then what? The following week, it was, or the following 2 weeks or something like after that, they decided to have the superstar shake up. So then they just put a bunch of superstars on Raw, a bunch of superstars on SmackDown, and they shook it all up, whatever, blah, blah. But then straight after the shake up, like a week or two, they then had what? Reigns, Elias and Daniel Bryan turn up on Raw. Yeah. For whatever reason, like Reigns had, I think, was Reigns in the feud with someone?
Yeah, with Shane.
No, wasn't Reigns in the feud with? Wasn't he feuding with Drew McIntyre at the time?
Maybe. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I thought he was feuding with Shane at the time.
I think he was feuding with Shane, but then he was feuding with McIntyre.
Yeah, because he was within the group with Shane.
Right.
But
he would
Roman.
But then his thing was that he had beef with McIntyre. That's why he was coming to Raw.
Yeah. There's something
so
like
he
that.
had beef with McIntyre, he was coming to Raw, and then like I can't remember why Elias was there, but he was in there, and then Daniel Bryan turned up for whatever reason as well. Like,
Shane had that super group. He had it was a Revival, Drew McIntyre, and Elias in his super group. And then that's why that was his group. But then
you had like, so all 3 of these stars in the ring with Vince, and then that's, you know, he's like, oh, you know, what if I introduce this wild card rule that you know, 3 superstars from each show could turn up each week or whatever.
Yeah, that was 3.
And then it's like,
and then Lars made it 4.
It was like 5 or 6 or something.
It's like if
he said 3.
Yeah. Lars showed up and he made it 4. Yeah, but that night it was about 6 people. Yeah.
Right. So he's like, oh, what if I make this wild card rule, blah. And then it's like, oh, I'm a genius for that. And it's just like, you kind of think to yourself, okay, but then what's the point of this wild card rule if you just introduced the shake-up? So the point of the shake-up was that, you know, where you're doing that, so you're giving us variety by moving some superstars around, different dynamics, different everything and whatnot. But then you're like, well, now there's going to be a wild card rule. And then you're like, okay. But then with the wild card rule, that now means that, oh my god, I get why you guys are laughing.
Sorry, I know.
I'm not laughing. I'm uncomfortable.
But yeah, so what's it called? When you introduce the wildcard rule, it just kind of threw the shake-up out of the way, and then that's the point where it's like, now you don't even know who's who on what show, on whatever. But yeah, so I'm just saying that wildcard rule just really kind of messed up the entire dynamic of the rosters. You didn't know who was who, and who was where, and who meant what, and it allowed for, like, for example, Alexa Bliss challenged for the SmackDown Women's Championship twice. And it's just like, you know, you had the Revival going for the SmackDown tag team titles, but they were considered a Raw tag team. One that just made no sense, and then it became abundantly clear that it was just they were trying to get away from the brand split until, I guess, for SmackDown goes to Fox, and Fox wanted the brand split to be final, which is why I guess Survivor Series is meant to mark the end of that. So
and also trying to for ratings as well. They before the wild card rule, their ratings, especially on the USA Network, were just floundering. I think they hit at one point. They hit the worst. They had the lowest ratings since like 2001 or some mad stat. It was really floundering. So that was like a panic move with the wild card thing, and then it just
made things worse.
That made things worse. It just spiraled out of control. So that's so what was you looking for?
Full actual list
of the wild card
people that used it. But
right. Yeah. I understand. That's understandable.
That was my number 1 pick for my worst moment for WWE in 2019. Although, like, I'm not saying that that's trumps theirs or anything like that. It's just that's my one. I honestly didn't care for the wildcard rule. Didn't do anything for me. Didn't get me hyped or anything like that. And you know, when WWE will post things on Instagram like, oh, so this SmackDown superstar is gonna be on Raw, and it's like, why?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, so when they were like, oh, so we're gonna give you Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan on Raw, and Daniel Bryan is a SmackDown superstar, and it's like, okay, why? Like, why do I need to invest? But why do I need to be invested in that match? It's like, fair enough, yes, they're both good wrestlers and stuff, but what does that match mean or count for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other than that, that's what I have to say for that. That's my number one. So, okay,
Cool. So
if we take a quick moment, things that didn't make the list that you think could have made the list.
Rusev and the whole Rusev stuff. I know I
Rusev
don't hate it as
Lashley.
much as you guys, but it's still bad. I can still
Yeah.
acknowledge it that it was bad. There was something else.
Charlotte and Lacey Evans having that Jackie Gator match on Monday Night Raw.
I didn't think that was a bad match.
That
I
match was
did-
dreadful.
Jackie Gator.
You know they
I know the infamous Trish and Jackie Gator match. Yeah.
Lacey Evans and Charlotte had a similar match.
We've
Oh
talked about
yes,
it.
yes, yeah.
The reason
yeah,
why
yeah.
I didn't think that, admittedly, I was at work, so I watched it on mute. But I did watch it, and what I remember about it, it just seemed very.
Miscommunicated.
No, it seemed very stiff / real. So like, you know, it didn't seem so. I guess miscommunicated. It didn't seem structured in like ballet. It seemed like fools were real fools or whatever. But sometimes that actually makes the match. Like you get that in a Lesnar match where it's just rough. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not flawless. Like suplex, clothesline. Sometimes it's just, you know what Lesnar's like. Like he's actually beating you up or whatever. And that's kind of what it seemed like. It probably wasn't intended to be that. But I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed.
That's just one of them I mentioned, but it was. To be honest, that's like.
But a
really
lot
fun.
of
I'm
people
just
did not
mentioning
like that
it.
match.
I'm just mentioning it. I'm not gonna like say that was worthy of my list or anything. I'm just mentioning it. But go on. Any other options?
For me, that whole Seth and Becky thing where they were just shoving. Look at these love couples. These guys are real life couples. They have sex. Seth Rollins. They might as well have. The way Michael Cole was going on about them. They were absolutely shoving it down our throats for a good month or two.
So you weren't here for when it was the Seth and Becky show?
No, because I don't care for that. I mean, it's like, I hate it when they force it. It just seemed forced. They were at the ESPYs. They were at the MTV Awards. They are on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. They are on this. They are on that. Fuck off, Cole. It says, it was just so, like, just let them be them. And then I think when they finally got the message, you don't hear about it anymore. You slyly hear like little comments like, okay, you know, Becky won her match. Is Seth going to be ready for his match? All that kind of stuff. Little subtle ones. But it's not in your face. And I think it's because they got the message that people don't care. They're not that power couple that you want them to be. They're trying to make them the next John Cena and Nikki Bella. It ain't happening.
I would have tried to make this Triple H Stephanie, but actually, no, you never.
No, I would say John Cena and thingy. When they were together, honestly.
Okay.
That's my one.
Anytime Hogan's been on the screen.
Asuka losing the SmackDown Championship to Charlotte.
Was that in 19? That was
this year before WrestleMania.
Oh, I thought you meant her streak. Yes, she lost the title to Charlotte. Yeah, that was so that was.
Oh yeah, that was
kick her
all.
out.
Yes.
That was just there because they wanted to include the SmackDown title in the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Shane beating Roman. That happened.
What? Which one? Which one? With the slippery
I can't
shirt.
even remember how it happened. I just know.
No, that was with the Miz. That was with the Miz.
Yeah, with the Miz it was bad as well.
Yeah.
Him beating him at WrestleMania was bad. The Miz never got a victory. That was terrible.
Yeah,
but he never got a victory.
You never got a victory. Yeah, you're right.
Come on, there's gotta be more, man.
Shane and Roman was at Super Showdown. That was
it was. Yeah,
That
and
was a
Shane
showdown.
somehow won it with help of Drew McIntyre, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, his K-Mo kick basically pinned Roman Reigns, but it just meant that for Roman's return, his first major loss was basically against Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon has a 1-2-3 pin victory over Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Did the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud cross into 19? I know it started last year.
No, I finished before the Rumble.
Okay.
as far as I can remember, because I think wasn't there something about like the Shield's final moments and stuff? Wasn't that around?
Yeah, the final chapter.
So,
Yeah.
Okay,
they
so
crossed
what
the
happened after Dean's feud with Seth, but before his face turn?
When was his face then? The Shield
Yeah,
chapter.
the Shield stuff. There was a tiny period of time when he was done with Seth, but he hadn't turned face yet.
Nothing.
Nothing really happened.
He was the IC title. He was the IC champion, and Bobby Lashley was involved.
He wasn't the champion.
He was the champion, and there was
Dean Ambrose recently.
There was a triple threat match. Him, Bobby Lashley,
and who?
and someone else, and Bobby Lashley won. And then Bobby Lashley ended up feuding with the other guy in the triple threat, and Dean Ambrose just wasn't in the title picture.
Wait, so no, that Finn Balor then? Because that was WrestleMania.
I don't know if it's
WrestleMania. Finn Balor wasn't Bobby Lashley, and Finn Balor, Demon Finn Balor won.
So then
against Bobby Lashley with the white eyes, right?
Sorry?
Bobby Lashley had yellow eyes, that's why that.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that close.
So find out when Dean was, because like I said, Dean was done with Seth Rollins, but he hadn't turned face yet.
I can't remember him being champion though.
Because it was literally.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't. He was just holding the title.
He had the title. He won it at TLC late on December 16th, 2018, and then he only had it for a couple weeks. He lost it to Bobby Lashley and on January 14th of Raw.
I remember that.
It was a triple threat match, also involving Seth Rollins.
So that time, Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor were involved. He wasn't even feuding with them. He was still like throwing digs at Seth.
Yeah.
Or just no. He stopped throwing digs at Seth. He started throwing digs at the people, telling them how they're dirty and wearing a gas mask.
Yes.
He didn't actually have any TV storyline beef with Bobby Lashley or Finn. He just was put in a triple threat match.
Yeah,
and then he lost the title.
Yeah, he won it He only had it for 3 weeks.
Nothing memorable. So I don't.
See, I didn't even remember that. So that's how you know.
Ziggler and Rude becoming a team. I think that was absolutely pointless. And then they won the titles. Like it was such a random pairing. Like I feel like Ziggler's just like a bit of a whole tag team partner. Like he's gonna be with someone else next month. Like it's just.
You could even be like,
that whole shit with the Revival and the Usos, Usi Hot.
Wasn't that shower scene or something like that?
And the shower segment as well, yeah.
Oh.
But I think when he actually came out, it's just like Usi Hot.
And then he went his back and stuff.
Yeah, and then there was like live on TV on the ring, and then they were like apparently it was like they had Vicks on their balls, and they were just wiping their asses on the ring and getting the towel and wiping themselves. You remember that?
Who the Revival?
The Revival, yeah. So I'm gonna put on the Usi Hot segment, and just to show you how stupid this was.
We do. Have you ever heard of Icy Hot? Yes, we have. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you something called Usi Hot.
The one person in the crowd laughing.
When you perspire, you're on fire. Usi Hot.
I don't get it.
That being said,
And what kind of product is that?
it works.
And they screamed as well. Good
Yeah,
grief.
that is that.
That's a god awful segment.
They played the role well though. In the
They
sense
do, but
that
then it's just like, oh god, so cringe.
Yes, it's a mad one. But anyway, that is our thoughts on the top 5 moments, worst moments in WWE TV. Let me know your thoughts. Leave your comments below on what your top 5 moments were in this year of 2019. I'm looking to also do a top 10 as well later on after TLC pay-per-view of the top 10 best pay-per-views and top 10 worst pay-per-views of this year, which will include AEW as well. So yeah, be on the lookout for that.